People ask me all the time what my favorite part of the campaign has been. Well, I think tonight.
Too many in Washington have forgotten that their job is to serve. So tomorrow, the papers will say, I won this race.
It was a night of grand old celebrations for the Grand Old Party. For the first time in 8 years, Republicans have control of Congress. Morning and welcome everybody to the News Hub. I'm Simon Constable. The GOP picked up 7 Senate seats on Tuesday to take control of the legislature. Late Tuesday night, current Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid congratulated Republican leader Mitch McConnell and said, quote, "The message from voters is clear. They want us to work together. I look forward to working with Senator McConnell to get things done for the middle class." The Republicans were able to win back Senate seats in Iowa, Colorado, Arkansas, Montana, South Dakota, West Virginia, and North Carolina. It was that win in North Carolina that gave the GOP the 6 seats it needed to win the Senate. Joining us to discuss these results, we got Steve Edwards. He is Executive Director of the University of Chicago Institute of Politics. Good morning, Steve. Long night for you, early morning as well. Thank you very much for joining us.
Great to be with you.
So do you think we're seeing a true change in direction among voters, or was this a vote against President Obama rather than for the Republicans?
I think this was largely a vote against President Obama, in large measure because the pattern we're seeing now holds true if you look historically at the cycle of midterm elections for Congress and the Senate when you have an incumbent president, especially in a 6th year of a 2-term presidency. So there's no question that this holds true, although I think last night was more of a Republican victory than many pundits had predicted, in part because you saw the Republicans hold on to some significant seats where they were vulnerable in places like Kansas, both the Senate and governorship, in places like Florida. So the fact that they held the turf they needed to hold and picked up those places where they were expected to win makes that a very big night for Republicans.
Will both houses of Congress, being Republican, make any difference to what gets done in Congress? Still, President Obama has the power of veto, and he has all those executive powers, which he's been pushing a lot more lately. Does anything get done? Is this going to be happy families now, or is it going to be more, trench warfare?
Yeah, I wish I could say it was all going to be kumbaya, teddy bears, candles, hugs. I think the headline of yesterday, if anything, really is Republicans win, gridlock prevails. And I think that has to do with just the structural realities in the Senate. While the Republicans take control, they don't have a veto-proof majority. You also have the 2016 presidential elections looming. And the big question, I think, for both parties, and particularly for the president and the members of Congress on the Republican side, are do they want to actually start fighting 2016 now? Or do they actually see it in their best interest mutually to come together around a couple of key issues? I think we'll largely see gridlock, although I will say there could be some exceptions in areas around business interests. I think there may be an opportunity for some things around taxes, some things around some modest repeals of some elements of Obamacare, and certainly trade.
Now, here in New York, we're just north of New Jersey, where Chris Christie seemingly was looking for a run at the presidency. Do you think he'll use this as an opportunity to go for it? He is somewhere to the the right of center, but not on the extreme right by any means.
Yeah, it's hard to know what the governor is going to do, but I think clearly he emerges as a big winner from last night. A lot of the races that he put much of his political capital behind as head of the Republican Governors Association turned up great. Scott Walker and Rick Snyder and Rick Scott and Bruce Rauner in Illinois, where I am. Those were all big victories for the Republican Party. Chris Christie deserves some of the credit for that. We still haven't seen the end, I think, of the Bridgegate scandal. Certainly that hovers, that lingers. There's still a big question as to whether he can win a conservative Republican primary gauntlet, but he's making all of the moves, and all of the indications suggest that he's preparing for a bid right now.
Okay, well, we shall see. Thank you very much, Mr. Edwards. We really appreciate your time.
A pleasure.